Hello everyone, and welcome to video 4 of my Mac Dev Setup mini-series. In this video, we are going to go over some of the applications that I use on a day-to-day basis that are not necessarily developer-oriented, technically speaking, but can be used in freelance development or, just day-to-day life to make Mac usage a little easier. All right, so first thing we're going to talk about is amphetamine, which if you guys have been using Macs for, that's lovely, a while, there used to be an application a long time ago called Caffeine, which would prevent your Mac from sleeping for some indefinite amount of time or some preset amount of time. Amphetamine is the, I guess, bigger brother to caffeine. It's got a bit more granularity and control, which is why I like it. And so we're just going to go through this setup. Tells you what it does, how to trigger it, and thanks you for using it. So amphetamine, you can do indefinitely, minutes, hours, other time until while certain apps are running, and you've got a whole handful of preferences. That is just a great all-around little tool. Next app we are going to talk about is Trello. Actually, I think that's through the App Store. If you do any freelance work or work on projects outside of, I guess, an organization, most companies and software use Jira as a way to do task management. If you're trying to roll cheap, Trello is free. It does have a web UI. I just like having the Mac application handy. That way, in the event I am traveling on a plane, otherwise somewhere where I don't have a network connection, I can actually see at least the last couple tasks that I was working on, and so on and so forth. So that's Trello. I'll log into that later. One of the companies that I'm currently helping out has some tasks that I don't necessarily want to expose out, so we'll talk about that a little later. But that's Trello. Next is Skype. Skype is video conferencing all day, every day. Love it or hate it. A lot of people use it or like it. A lot of people also use Google Hangouts, which is actually what I've been using recently. So that being said, I'm not going to go ahead and download Skype today, but it does have an application that a lot of people like. So we're just going to skip through that. Spotify is the next application that I would say is kind of a convenience thing. A lot of people like to... Oh man, I guess you have to sign up in order to, or log in order to download. It's kind of a pain in the ass. A lot of people like to listen to music as they work, so Spotify is a great free way to do that. If you don't have a large music library or you don't want to listen to YouTube, for the most part, Spotify works pretty good. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in here. And then allow it so that I can download. And we'll go ahead and get that opened up and installed. It's taking a minute to install. Yeah. Apparently latest Spotify is a little heavier on the installation process than I recall it being. Alright, so whenever you launch Spotify, you'll be greeted with a sign up, login. I'm going to go ahead and log in. Again, we're going to drag this over here for just a moment while we do so. Oh, well, that's irritating. That is apparently the incorrect password. And I do not recall what my password is. Alright, we're going to go ahead and reset that really quick. The reason well, actually, I think I can get to settings without actually having to log in. Something that I do want to show you guys is that Spotify is a little obnoxious when you first download it. It will automatically open up whenever your computer starts up, which, if you listen to music, quite frequently, that's obnoxious. If you listen to music frequently, it may not be a big deal for you, but if you travel a lot, you're trying to save battery, and you don't necessarily want it launching all the time, or you do a lot on your computer and you don't want something taking processing power unnecessarily or network strain, it can become a pain in the ass. So the way you fix that is inside of Spotify, Command comma to open up your preferences pane. And then down at the very bottom, there's going to be Show Advanced Settings. And there is going to be Startup and Window Behavior. This says Open Spotify automatically after you log into your computer. Mark that as no. And then I don't think there's technically like a save. It just kind of auto saves your settings. Right, so then Spotify will not start up whenever you open up your computer. Next thing that we are going to go download is Itsycal. And so one of the shortcomings of macOS, or at least I think is a shortcoming, is there's no calendar thing, either from a start menu or your dashboard toolbar. There's a calendar app, but it seems to be like more effort than it should be in order to get to a calendar on macOS. If you've ever used Windows, there's generally, you've got a little Windows icon or a calendar icon down at the bottom. Itsycal is effectively that for macOS. It's a free little app, and in my opinion, it is absolutely worth the download. So we're going to take Itsycal, we're going to plop it in our applications, and go open it up. We'll allow it access to our calendar, and it kind of jumps up right in here. We're going to open up settings, open up preferences, launch it, login, First day of the week will be Sunday. We want my personal calendar on there. I should probably hide that just so you guys don't know what my personal email is. I love you guys, but we'll let you email my public email. Let's go with outline. We definitely want day of the month, and we want the day of the week. Calendar, we'll go dark theme. We'll highlight Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, since those are the weeks. We'll show event dots, colored dots. All that looks okay, and we'll close out of this. So now we have our calendar. A little bit of a Mac tip for you guys. Let's go to settings. We still have this open from earlier. You will have a time, date and time setting. Then normally this goes to date and time, but I had it on clock. So what you can do is add and remove different things from your toolbar up here. I'm going to go ahead and remove day of the week, since we already have it from Itsycal. And then I believe if you hold down Command and click on these, you can rearrange them. So then I'm going to have my calendar next to my date. And so that's Itsycal. And then if you click on this, you get a nice little calendar. Cool stuff. Anyway, that takes care of Itsycal. Next thing we're going to go get is Chrome. It's taken us a while to go download Chrome. I've been rolling with Safari. I believe I mentioned that I did reset my operating system, so I was running stock, but you definitely want to go get Chrome. So we'll get that downloaded. That'll take a minute. Open up our installer. We got our little same drag and drop. If you've been watching the I don't think that actually did what I wanted it to do. If you've been watching my first few videos in this little mini series, you've probably gotten used to seeing this little drag and drop installation interface. Alright, there we go. And that should take care of Google Chrome. Close out that, give it permission. Google Chrome, we do want to set it as my default browser. Do you want to change your default web browser to Chrome? We want to use Chrome. And there we go. Chrome is installed, ready to go. And then the last convenience application is Slack, which Slack is just a messenger tool. Quite a few companies use it. If you are in software industry, you're probably familiar with it. If not, you might not be. But it's kind of like a Facebook Messenger, or what's another lookalike? I forget their names, but Microsoft has its own internal messenger. IBM uses the same time as its messenger. It's just a nice tool. So let's go ahead and get this downloaded. I think we can actually grab it through the App Store. Maybe, I'm not entirely sure. There we go. Let's go ahead and download that. No, then we can open it up. Access downloads, that's fine. And then, you know, Slack will come with a sign-in message, which you can go ahead and sign in, or it'll help you create an account. I don't know where I was going with that. whenever you sign in, it'll ask for a workspace. You'll provide a workspace, and then it'll ask you for your email and your password that you use to log into said workspace. I've got a handful of them that I'm a part of, which I'm not going to make you guys watch me log into all those, so I'm going to go ahead and close out of this and do that in a little bit. But that more or less concludes, I'm going to say, the convenience applications that I like to keep on my Mac as far as day-to-day life and development goes. Those being Slack, Chrome, Itsycal, Spotify, Trello, Amphetamine. They're just going to make your life a lot easier. But this will conclude video 4, and I will see you guys in video 5.